Hello everyone, my name is Nancy from teachingwithnancy.com, and this is a video preview of my Spanish Early Literacy Bundle. It includes 8 different resources that are sold separately in my store, and I'm just going to take you briefly through each resource so you can look at the different activities that it includes to make sure that all of the stations are appropriate for the students in your classroom. The first resource is called Sonidos Iniciales, and it is all beginning sounds. There are 8 different stations included in this resource. The first one looks like this, and I have all the instructions here for you, how to use it as an independent station, transition ideas, and how to use it with whole group. And the cards will look like this. So when you print it out, they'll look like this, and you will cut them out, and that way they can match them up like that. And there's one for every letter of the alphabet. For the next station, students are going to match 2 pictures to the initial sound, the letter. So this one would be avión, árbol, biberón, bebé. And let me show you what the cards will look like. They'll look like this. Let me try to make my screen a little bit bigger for you so you can see. So they'll look like this, and when you cut them out, leave these 2 boxes on the side. I included a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. And then let me show you what the pictures will look like. The pictures look like this, and I know that people call different things. There's lots of synonyms for words, so what I did is I wrote at the top the names for each picture, so that way when you pre-teach the vocabulary, you can tell them what each picture is called. The next 3 stations are all the same. There's 3 sets of clip cards that look like this. So students will look at, I'll show you an example. Let me flip it around so you can see it. So this is what it looks like. So students will look at the picture. This is gato, and then they have, out of a field of 3 different letters, they have to figure out which letter the picture begins with. And there's 3 sets of these, and they all come with an answer recording sheet. The answer recording sheet has a QR code scan and check feature. You don't need it to do the activity, but if you have a smart device with a QR code scanner, then they can check their own answers, and when they scan it, it'll look like this. If you don't have it, it's fine. You can just check it the old-fashioned way. And here are some of the other cards, and there's 3 sets of 12. And now we're to the last, almost to the last of this resource. These right here are puzzles, and they have the upper and the lowercase, and then 2 pictures that begin with that letter sound. And there's one for each letter of the alphabet. They look like this. Let me turn them around real quick. They look like this. And so when you cut them out, you can cut them in 4. That's to make it the hardest. But if you want to make it a little bit easier, you can either cut them in half this way or just cut them in half this way. And that way they only have 2 pieces. I don't recommend giving them all at once because that would make a big mess. That would be a lot. So just, that's up to you, but you can give them the letter cards, the puzzles for the letters that you're working on. The last 2 stations in this unit are clip cards, and they look like this. And the nice thing about these is that they don't really have a theme, so you can use them anytime during the year. There's 2 sets, and I've included all of the answers here so that in case there's a picture and you're not sure what it's called, and also to help you pre-teach. And there's 4 on a page, so you'll cut them out, and then they'll look at the picture, and then you have to find the letter that the picture begins with. And this one also comes with an answer recording sheet. So, and it'll tell you at the bottom, like this one says set negro. So you'll know that these have the numbers in black. So that's the answer recording sheet. And this set right here has the numbers in blue. So the answer recording sheet is going to tell you that this is the blue sets, just to help you a little bit so you can figure out what answer recording sheet goes with what task cards. The next activity in this resource is called Riman. It's a Spanish rhyming station. And here are the instructions. And for these, you're going to need either paper clips or clothespins. I use clothespins for my example to hold a little flap down. So when you print them out, they'll look like this. And you're going to fold them on this solid line right here. And that way it will cover up the answer so that when they're looking at it, it will look like this. Then it's a phonological awareness activity. So they do not need to be able to read for this. So it'll be, for example, tacón, jabón. And then they'll have to say, yes, it rhymes, or no, it doesn't rhyme. There's an answer recording sheet. It's really, really simple for those early learners. It doesn't have a lot of words on it. I didn't write here color or circle. That way you can tell them what you want them to do to indicate the answer if you want to have them write the answers. So if the number 1, for example, this one, they do rhyme. So before they open up the flap on the answer recording sheet, they would circle or color it, and then they'd open up the flap to see if they got the answer correct. And so there's 12 cards, and this is the answer recording sheet. Again, you don't need a QR code scanner to be able to complete this activity, but if you have one, they can use it to activate the scan and check feature, and then when they scan it, it'll look like this, and they can check their work. And for every one that they got correct, they can color in a little acorn. So that's fun for them. The next resource included in this bundle is called Rancho de Rimas. And again, another rhyming activity. Here, the cards are going to look like this. They're going to look different. There's a field of 3. So they have to look at the picture that the little cow is holding, and then they have to say these 3 picture names to see which one of these makes a rhyme. So rastrillo, castillo, pájaro, tortuga. So it would be rastrillo, castillo. And I put the answers on the side for you so that it'd make it a little easier for you. I recommend that you pre-teach the vocabulary. If you notice on the picture right here, when you cut them out, it's going to have the 3 little pictures on the bottom. It does have a little farm theme. So you have a little chick, a pig, and a little sheep, a little lamb at the bottom. And so that's the way the answer recording sheet is set up. Let me show that to you so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks like this. Let me flip it around. And again, I didn't write here what color or circle so that you can tell them how you want them to indicate the answer. There's 2 sets of these. So you're going to notice right here it says set negro, and that's going to correlate with the numbers here that are black. And then there's also another set that this is, they're red. I'll flip it around so you can see. The numbers are red, so on the answer recording sheet for those, it's going to say set rojo so that you know what test cards and what answer recording sheet go together. And then for these, so if the answer is the first picture, which is the one with the little chick, then on the answer recording sheet, they're either going to circle or color the little chick. There's a QR code scan and check feature, and again, you don't have to use it, but if you have a QR code scanner, it gets the kids excited and they want to complete it so that they can see if they got it right or not. And so this is what they would see once they scan it. This is the last rhyming activity that's included in this set, and the way it looks when you print it out is it'll look like this. And you'll cut them out so that they look like this. And this is strictly phonological awareness. There are no words. So they'll have to look at the top picture and then say the name of the bottom pictures to determine which one of these 2 rhymes with the top picture. So araña, cabaña, araña, jirafa. And so they'll just mark the answer. I did include, so that you can make it self-checking, I included the pictures. So right here, you can see the little pictures, and you can just glue them to the back of the cards before you laminate them. And here are all the answers, just to make it easier so you're not trying to guess what the name of the pictures are. The next resource included in this bundle is called Spanish Bunny Hop Syllable Counting, and it's all for phonological awareness. No reading is required for this. The cards are going to look like this, and they're numbered. There's 3 stations to give them lots of practice. So identifying how many syllables are in a word. So for example, these right here, you're going to cut them out and then they'll look like this. And then there's a sorting sheet, and it just says clasifica por sílabas, and it's just 1, 2, and 3. So like for example, this one's red, that one has 1 syllable, they just stack it right here. They are numbered, so if you double, then they're going to color in 1 flower. If the picture has 2 syllables, then they'll color in 2 or 3. It comes with a QR code scan and check feature. You don't have to use it, but if you have it, then when they scan it, it will look like this. Otherwise, you can just check it the old-fashioned way. There are 2 more stations. They look just like this. There's 2 of the same. They're clip cards. There's 12, 2 sets of 12. And so they'll look like this. And so like pelota, it has 3. So they'll have to mark 3. You can either have them circle it with a dry erase marker if you have them laminated, or you can use clothespins or little counters. And here's the answer recording sheet for this one. And again, they'll color in 1 flower for every syllable they hear in the word. And there's 2 sets. So there's a green set and a black set, and they'll tell you that on the answer recording sheets at the bottom, so you'll know which one to use. Otherwise, when they scan it, the answers are going to be wrong. The next resource is called Sílabas Iniciales, and it has a little watermelon theme throughout, and it's all identifying the initial syllables in words. So all 5 vowels are included to give them lots of practice. So they will look at, you'll cut them out and they'll look like this. And then there's picture cards. There's 2 for each of the syllables that I've included. And you can kind of look and see, pirata and piña. And it has, all the answers are included in the instructions right here. So that way you'll know exactly what each picture is called. The next activity is matching. They are going to match up watermelons to, would they have a picture on them, to the initial syllable. So the watermelons are all numbered, and that's so that it correlates with the answer recording sheet. This is what the cards look like. You'll cut them out, and then they will right here write the syllable. So like for example, this one is number 10 is bebe. The initial syllable is be. So for number 10, they'd have to write be here. It has a QR code scan and check feature. And this is what it looks like when they scan it. They can check all of their answers. And then I also have some flip cards. There's 2 pictures out of a field of 2. They have to figure out, they'll have to read the syllable and then find the picture that begins with that syllable. So li would be licuadora, and then so on. So when they print them out, they'll look like this, and it does come with an answer recording sheet as well. The answer recording sheet on this one is really simple. It has pictures, so they just have to color or circle the picture. You can tell them, it doesn't have instructions, so that you can tell them if you want them to either color it or if you want them to circle it. And then again, it has the QR code scan and check feature. They can scan it, check their work, and then it'll show them, this is what they'll see after they scan it. And then the last activity in this resource is a picture. There are clip cards, but out of a field. This time, instead of in this one, it has 1 syllable, and then they have to determine what picture begins with that syllable. And this one's kind of like the opposite. This one, they're going to look at the picture and they have a field of 3 syllables and they have to figure out which one the picture begins with. It also comes with an answer recording sheet because you want to hold them accountable for doing the work. And it'll look like this, and then when they scan it, then it'll show them the answers. The next resource includes lots of stations for students to practice identifying the initial syllable in words. And this is the first activity. It'll look like this. And there's instructions for how to use all of these cards in a whole group, for a small group, or as an independent station. And then the next one is for them to do, to match up 2 pictures that begin with a syllable. And there's a variety. I've included all of the names of the pictures so that you know exactly what they are. I would pre-teach the vocabulary so that students will know what each picture is called. The next station are clip cards. And they look like this. So they have to look at the card and figure out what syllable it begins with. Add up a field of 3. There's an answer recording sheet. There's 20 clip cards. So that after they finish all of it, then they can scan the QR code and then they can check their work, and then it'll show up like this. The next station are clip cards as well. There are 2 sets. There's a blue set and a black set. So here's the black ones. The numbers are black to help you. Again, they don't really have a theme to them, so they're great to use throughout the whole year. And here's there's 20 in each set. So at the bottom it'll tell you set negro, so you'll know that that's the black set, and then the blue set will say, will let you know on the answer recording sheet, so you can make sure that you give them the right recording sheet and test cards. The last resource in this bundle is called Froggy Syllables. Again, more opportunities for them to practice identifying the initial syllable in words. There's 2 sets in this one. There's a black set and a blue set, and it's a fun frog theme. And that's the answer recording sheet. And it'll tell you that these are blue. And so it'll tell you set azul, so you know. Again, it has a QR code scan and check feature so that students can check their work when they're done. I hope that this preview has been helpful to you in determining whether these activities are appropriate for the students in your classroom.